YouTube, what's going on? Woody P coming back with another one. Let's get it. You know I can't stop. Let's keep it going, keep it rolling. Today I'm gonna talk about why your wisdom overpowers your desires. What is wisdom? Wisdom is basically when you're knowledgeable about something or knowledgeable about, what's going on. You have a lot of experience. You have wisdom from that. And what are your desires? Desires could be, when something's not good for you, but you kind of like to do it anyway or like to, indulge into that activity. That's your desires, when you're kind of thinking with kind of like emotions and going with your feelings instead of, going with your mind and what you know that's best for you. So while your wisdom overpowers your desires, this is going to be a good one. Stick with me before I start the video. Please watch the entire video. And if you like it, subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this and just content about life and various topics. Let's get it. Yeah, your wisdom overpowers your desires. And I always felt like this. If you're not knowledgeable about a situation and you don't know what the outcome may be, the consequences shouldn't be as bad. You live and you learn. But when you have wisdom and you're knowledgeable about a situation or, whatever's going on at the moment, and you choose to, go left of what you know that's right, you choose to, go left, that's when the consequences, I feel like, compound because you know the results. Like your parents used to say, the stove is hot. Don't touch that stove. You touch that stove anyway. You deserve third-degree burns. You know what I mean? Because you knew that stove was hot. You seen it smoking. Parents told you, but you chose to touch the stove anyway. So that's what wisdom is for. It's so we don't put ourselves in those vulnerable positions. That's why we want to have wisdom, so we kind of eliminate ourselves from those, I guess you could say, risky situations or whatever that's going to set us back. What could your desires be? Your desires could be, you could have like sexual desires. You could have bad eating habits, eating disorder. That's a desire. You can have food desire. And you can just have a drug addiction. You can have a drug addiction. So you can have sexual desire. You can have eating disorder, food desire, have a drug addiction. And those are like to me, the three toughest battles in life. Like as far as habits and things like that. Because everybody loves sex. We all love sex. I know I love sex. We all love sex. So that's like the biggest hurdle to get over. Because I'll just take this for example. You have athletes. The top athletes, let's say, especially in individual sports like boxing, track, they always tell the athletes, to kind of stay away from sex. Stay away from sex so you can perform at your peak ability. Abstain from sex so you can perform at your peak ability. And the top athletes are able to, hold their discipline and hold off on sex so they can perform to their peak ability. You may have some athletes that very good, but they can't put those sexual desires to the side, so they can't perform to their peak ability, and that can be what separates the good players and good athletes from the great athletes. because sex when we have sex, that takes a lot out of us. It does, and especially depending on how many rounds you're going. You know what I'm saying? If you're going 2-3 rounds, that take a lot out of you. I'll never forget. I had a big game, a big football game. I was in Florida. I had a big football game. The weekend, the football game was on a Saturday. I was having sex almost all week before the game. And on that game on Saturday, I didn't play to the best of my ability. I was drained. That's the first time I had ever done that. Like having sex that many times and then playing in the game. I didn't have no energy. I was depleted, empty. So that was the first time I ever did that, and I did not perform well. But I don't know. That could have just been, I just didn't perform well. Who knows? But, I just know I didn't have the energy that I typically have. I didn't have that energy. So, yeah, sexual desires. Like I said, you have eating disorders, food. People have food desires. They want to eat up everything. And that's tough. You got to know, okay, you're on a diet, you trying to make a certain weight, you got to cut it off at a certain time. Because if you've made that weight before, you know the process now. So now you have wisdom. So you don't get excuses no more once you've been there, done that. That's where the wisdom comes in. When you have the wisdom, you don't have no more excuses. Depending on, if you've been through that situation or whatever, what's going on at that moment. So when you have the wisdom and you still make the wrong decisions, you don't get to make excuses. You don't get to make excuses. So if you know, okay, if I eat this after 9 o'clock, this gonna put an extra half pound on me, and I'm not gonna be able to, be at the weight that I want to be at. And you still choose to eat that ice cream and cake after 9 o'clock, you deserve the consequences. When you wake up and you want to weigh yourself on the scale, you deserve those consequences to be a pound over. Because you knew, okay, I got to cut it off at this time. Your wisdom was telling you that. So, wisdom always should overpower desires because you know the outcome of your action. Simple as that. And like I said, you can have a drug addiction. You can have a drug addiction. You don't perform at your best when you smoking or, doing things that slow you down. But you choose to, smoke anyway or do whatever you're doing. And it's slowing down your performance, whether that be at your job, whether that be, doing your hobbies. Or some people take, drugs as a hobby. You know what I'm saying? As a hobby. But yeah, if it's slowing down your performance and you choose to keep going that route, the consequences, should double because you can't perform at your best of your ability. So your wisdom should always overpower your desires because you know the outcome and you know what you're doing. You're aware. We live and we learn, of course, but when we are aware of what we're doing, we got to be able to make the best decisions. So Yeah, wisdom overpowers your desire. That was something that was on my mind, so I had to put it out here. You know, I can't stop. All weekend I'm coming with that fire. So drop something in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Wisdom overpowers desire. So, you know, I can't stop. I'm going to keep coming with it. I'm going to stay on the grind. With EP coming back with another one. You know, I can't stop. Knock another one out. Bow, bow, bow. Let's get it.